Peace in your mind. Peace in your heart. Yes, it will. Peace in your soul. Whenever the Lord says, I know there's gonna be peace. I know there's gonna be peace. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Peace in your home. Peace on your job. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Kat Carter, and I am so excited that you decided to hang out with me tonight because I have an amazing lineup tonight. I have my good friend Ryan Montano standing by, and then later we're going to do some health tips with Dr. Rodney Alford. So Friday Night Live is a positive platform where we come to inform, innovate, and inspire. And we really hope that's what we've been giving to you for almost a year now. All right, so let's do our encouragement corner, and then I'm going to introduce to you the spotlight of the week. Our encouragement corner reads, God, I know that whenever I try to hold on to love as if I am going to lose it, I am, in effect, thwarting the expression of my own love. I realize that when I try my hardest to control a situation, that is when I feel as if I am losing control. When I experience an inner urging to move forward in life or a career, but don't take the first step, I know that I am letting doubt be an anchor. God, I know that when I let go of concern or fear, you are there to support me in being loving, in making decisions, and taking leaps of faith. So I let go of what has been or what might have been and let you show me something even better. How alive I feel letting you be God in my life. Taken from the Daily Word, 365 days of love, inspiration, and guidance. All right, so let me tell you about Ryan. Ryan is a nationally recognized trumpeter, songwriter, band leader, and recording artist. His beautiful tone, sophisticated and memorable compositions, impactful live performances, and precise technique have garnered him national radio airplay and festival performances across the nation. His debut contemporary jazz single, I Like That, found national popularity and acclaim by reaching the 14th position on the Billboard National Jazz Airplay chart. His follow-up single, Honey Girl, peaked at 13 on the Billboard after 20 consecutive weeks on the chart. His music is a captivating fusion of jazz, soul, and Latin styling. His live performances are elegant, refined, and powerful. His distinctive sound has become a steady fixture on Sirius satellite radio and at radio stations around the world. His current release, Soulfully, is currently in the top 30 on the Billboard National Jazz Airplay chart. The success of his music has led to national-wide performances at jazz and music festivals across the country, including the Jacksonville Jazz Festival, Albuquerque International Ball Fiesta, the Phil Danny Armory Jazz Festival, Seabreeze Jazz Festival Rising Star, Performance Slot, and several others. Please welcome to Friday Night Live, my good friend, national recording artist, Ryan Montano. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Ryan?
Hey, Kat, I can't hear any of the audio, and I don't think I can hear you. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not hearing
okay.
anything, unfortunately.
I can hear you just fine. Okay, so do me a favor and go out and back in, and then we're going to play another video while you try to come back in. Maybe there's a bad connection. He cannot hear me. Okay, hold on, everybody. Let me send Ryan a
Not hearing
message.
anything. My
Type him a
mic's
message.
on. Turn it off and on. Cam off and on. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything, unfortunately.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Can the audience, can you guys say something? Can you guys hear me? What is going on, Ryan? Okay, so the audience can hear us. Ryan just cannot hear me. Okay, let's send Ryan a message. Okay, bear with me, audience. We apologize for the technical difficulty. Can you type him something, please? Okay. All right. So while we're working on that, I'm so excited that you all are tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sometimes it just happens like this. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. Ryan, can you see that? Can you see the? Let's see. Let me see if he responds. No.
I see in the
Okay.
chat that Cheryl, media director, says we can hear you perfectly. That's good. I'm not. Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Tell him to come back. Try coming
Unfortunately,
back
I
and
see
come
you.
back
I see
in.
you perfectly, but I can't hear any audio.
Okay. Type it again, Cheryl, so we can see what we need him to do. Tell him to exit out. Like, okay. All right. Okay. And then when we get that going, we'll put up another video for it. We are just so excited to have Ryan with us, you
So
guys.
what
Actually,
I'm gonna try. Let me Let me. Do you want me to try that link again? Like, do you want me to close out of this and try that link again?
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are just so excited to have Ryan here with us. He's very busy. He has a very busy schedule, and he is our first trumpeter. So, I am like really excited to have him hang out with us today. Ryan, again, he is a trumpeter, a songwriter, a band leader, and a recording artist. And the first song that you just listened to is known as Iris. Okay, let's see. He's going to try to come back in again, so we'll see if we can get him.
Oh,
Let's
there it
see.
is. Okay, I can
Hey,
hear now. Cool.
yay! How are
We did
you,
the
Ryan?
old. I'm well. We did the old restart, so that seemed to do
Yes,
it.
yes. So we are just so excited to have you on the show. I was just telling them that the song that we just listened to was called Iris. And I was telling them, reiterating that you are our first trumpeter on Friday Night Live. So that is so exciting. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for hanging out with us.
I
All right.
appreciate the opportunity. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be the first trumpeter. That's cool.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes. You have made history. Yes, sir.
Hey.
So, so what or who inspired you to be a trumpeter?
Um, I don't know if I really chose the trumpet, as they say, or the trumpet chose me. I think it's kind of. I think it was just something that was kind of meant to happen. It was meant to. I was just meant to play the trumpet. My family was really music oriented. Some families were kind of maybe sports oriented, or maybe oriented towards the church, or maybe oriented towards, I don't know, academics. But my family, what we did is we played music. My brothers and sisters all played in the band. They were drum majors and saxophone players, bassoon, flute, clarinet,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was just something that we did. So something about the trumpet just resonated with me, and I picked it up, and I dedicated myself to it, and I dedicate myself to it every day to be a better trumpet player, to be a better composer, a better performer, and a better human being.
So, you have a lot of family members that play instruments. So, did you all have a family band?
Yeah. No, I mean, like I played in the church with my dad. We did. I grew up in the Catholic Church, and we played
Um,
in the choir. He would play the guitar and sing, and I would play the trumpet. And no, we never really had a family band, but we all played instruments. So
wow.
excuse me.
Wow. What about your parents? Did they play music as well, or is it just your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, my dad was a singer. My dad was kind of the main person that, inspired all of our family members to pick up our instruments and or to pick up music and play because he was a country music singer and a
Oh
guitar
wow.
player, and he had his own band called the Full Circle Band. And
Okay.
so, he would always talk very fondly of his days on the road and, his time playing music. And that's one of the things I really admire about my dad is that he genuinely loves music and the performance of music. So, he passed that on to us, and um, it's just something that I ended up, doing and decided to make a living out of it.
Yeah, and the rest is history, Ryan. OMG. So tell us about your amazing acting career, because I don't know. People know that do you do movies, commercials, or tell me about.
Yeah,
You know a little
I've
bit of
done.
everything. You have your hands in a little bit of everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I've done acting in movies. I have my SAG card and had speaking roles. I did a Disney movie and I did a movie with Ethan Hawke, and but I also make movies, so to speak. I do videography, I do video editing, I do photography, and yeah, I just that's another kind of creative art form that's done that's inspired me, and then I've dedicated myself towards. I actually got my degree. I majored in broadcast journalism in college because I
Okay.
didn't I didn't want to major in music because I felt that the music program in my hometown they had a very strict and regimented way of this is how you have to learn music, and if you're going to do it, that's the only way that you can do it. And for me that didn't really resonate. I wanted to do music kind of on my own terms. So as a I guess you could call it a backup plan or as an aside sort of. I majored in journalism and I was going to be a news reporter, but
Oh wow.
it's interesting, kind of the bias that you kind of see in mainstream, or they call it legacy media, the bias that you see nowadays. I recognized that pretty quick when I was in college. I graduated college in 2010, and
Mhm.
I remember, kind of starting to immerse myself in that world, and then quickly realizing that that wasn't it wasn't an endeavor that suited my spirit and suited my soul. So I kind of moved into the production world, and then plus also doing acting and movies and whatnot. I kind of got to see kind of all sides of around the camera, so to speak, and it's just something that I ended up doing and really enjoyed. So
Wow. Okay, so back to your music. Tell me what your creative process is like.
for writing songs,
Mm-hmm. So, like, do you
yeah.
get? Go ahead.
I was For writing songs. Every song is different. The genesis of a song, the that seed of inspiration can come in many forms. Sometimes it could be a
Yes.
YouTube video, sometimes it could be a drum beat, sometimes it could be a melody that I have in my head. Sometimes it could be a chord progression. Sometimes it could be like a riff on a guitar that I kind of adjust, or a riff on the piano that I kind of change to kind of make it my own. Um, I don't know. I think every song is different, and I kind of want to be in the headspace. Whenever I write songs, I want to make sure that I'm open and receptive and and conscious of the fact that I don't feel that I write songs necessarily. I feel
Mhm.
that I'm a catalyst for the songs. If that might make sense. It's like each song has its own identity, and each
Yeah.
song has its own personality, has its own vibe, and so I just want to make sure that whenever I sit down and I start the creative process of writing a song, that I'm in the right headspace to be like, okay, this is where the song wants to go, and let's go with it, and don't try to insert my own bias, or insert my own preconceived notions of what I feel that should be. I just try to be open to it, and let the inspiration come out. And I find that when I do that, when I'm most in the zone, when I'm most receptive to that feeling, and
Hmm.
to that mindset, that's when the best songs come out. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my process.
Cool. So, out of all of the songs that you've produced, which one is your favorite to perform?
Mm, my
Good
favorite
question.
to
Huh?
perform would probably be Honey Girl. I think Honey Girl is it's a song that I wrote with a producer named Darren Ron out of Denver. That's probably my favorite one to perform live, just because it has the studio version, the album version is different than the live version. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, I just like to, yeah, that I would say that one would be my favorite to perform live. It has a really, really strong energy when you perform live.
Okay. Well, I think you have some of your fans hanging out with us. So, if there is any message that you would like to give, what kind of message would you give to your fans? Like, what would that be?
Um, so I wanted to turn on some lights. I don't know if y'all can see out here's my backyard. We have a
Yeah,
beautiful
I'm
view.
really jealous because you have like really nice weather and it's not really, well, it's okay here in the Midwest, but it's not that nice where we can just sit out there with just like no coat or sweater. I mean,
Yeah.
you're living a life out there. That
Yeah, it's a nice life here in the desert. Well, to all the people that have been, I don't know if I necessarily like to refer to people as fans, because to me that kind of it puts it puts me on like this, this plane, and then it puts to me that it gives it a connotation of putting them below me. Because I hear a
you're
lot of
the
people
second
that are like,
artist.
those are my.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
the
know. I
second
just
artist that said that. Yeah. So what would you call people that supported? Would you call them supporters? What would you call them?
Yeah, I call them supporters or friends. On a certain level. You know what I mean? I wouldn't not like besties or anything like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, anybody that um, resonates with the music that I write and what I'm trying to do and the energy I'm trying to put out into the world, um, I appreciate that support. And so, if I can be a catalyst for some sort of positivity, and then maybe it inspires people to go um, pass on that positivity and to help others. I think we can use so much more of that in this world. I think that would be
I agree.
really great. So if I can, if people, if I can be some sort of catalyst for that, then I think that's a really good thing, and I really appreciate people supporting. So
Yeah, I agree. We could use more of that. I agree. Okay, so we're actually at the very end, and I want to be able to play one more of your selections. So the next song I have up is Little Sunflower. So you want to give us a little background about that single?
yeah, this is "Little Sunflowers," a tune written by the great trumpeter Freddie Hubbard, one of my favorites, and it was from a performance earlier about say maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and because of COVID had shut down all the live performances, the city of Las Cruces, it's in southern New Mexico, had hired my band to do like a live virtual performance. And
Hmm.
so we recorded that song live in the studio, Little Sunflower. And it was cool. I remember recording that song, and, I'm kind of, as weird as it may sound, being a solo artist, there's a lot of me that is really introverted and kind of, I think that's why I kind of like being behind the camera. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
being in front of the camera is cool too, but I think I prefer being behind the camera. But I just remember just being like, okay, like if I'm gonna be, you know, featured on the like, if I'm gonna be putting myself out there, just kind of embrace, having the camera on me and whatnot. And so I just remember being like, okay, I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna play honestly, and I feel like it's one of my best performances in a studio. And the band sounded, I think it's as a collective, I think it's one of the best performances that my band has put together. And yeah, sounds really good. So
Oh, wow. Well, Ryan, you know what? I know that you're very busy. You have a lot on your plate, and I just really appreciate you for taking time out to come and hang out with little old me just for a little while and sharing with us your beautiful gift and your music and telling us a little bit about yourself. Best wishes to you and your future endeavors. And when you have time, I don't know when that will be, but I would love to have you come back and hang out with me again.
I appreciate that, Kat. I'd love to. I have a new single coming out on May 3rd. It's called Gemini. And
Okay.
when that song comes out, I'd love to,
You want to come
get
back?
on here and talk about it on the show.
All right. Awesome. You have a great evening. And we're going to end this with Little Sunflower by Ryan Montana. Blessings, Ryan. And we'll be talking soon.
All right, thanks, Kat, and thank you everybody for tuning in. It's great to connect with you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Rolling, Kim? Rolling. Okay, here we go. Yep.
Introducing national recording artist, saxophonist Ronald Rembert Jr. music for inspirational music to move you, soothe you, and groove to. Available at Amazon Music, iTunes, and other online platforms. Ronald also has a new designer shoe, the Double Quarter Anointed 1S. This shoe is custom designed and handcrafted in Italy. Once you buy a pair, the custom shoes are manufactured and shipped to you. Style meets comfort with a dose of swag, a street-styled low sneaker with sporty soul. Check out the Double Quarter Anointed 1S shoe and Ronald Rembert Jr. music at anointedsax.com. Stepdads showing up and showing out. Check out this latest book written by inspiring author Dr. Cedric Rice. His book is loaded with tips for navigating the complex world of a blended family. Dr. Rice's goal is to encourage, equip, strengthen, and empower the men and the women who love and adore them. to fully embrace the challenges, responsibilities, honor, and blessings associated with being a stepfather. The ultimate challenge as a stepfather is to always show up and show out. God is watching. This book can be purchased as a softcover or Kindle at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iUniverse.com. Stepdads, showing up and showing out. Encourage a stepfather today. Are you shopping for car insurance, business insurance, homeowners insurance, renter's insurance, life insurance? Well, let me introduce you to insurance agent Bryce Armstrong with State Farm. Reach out to him for all of your insurance needs. Give him a call or even request a quote at 618-205-1000. That's 618-205-1000 or Bryce at bstrong.biz. Bryce Armstrong with State Farm, our first choice with competitive prices and friendly service. Give him a call today. Okay, here is our trivia tonight. This is a unscramble. So unscramble this. This is a tournament that takes place in March. I have Dr. Rodney Alford standing by. We're getting ready to do our preventative measures. Stay tuned for that. So this is what we got. Can you unscramble it? You know what it is, Shara? You know what it is?
I know what it is. I don't think they know what it is.
Okay, we'll see if they can figure it out. Okay, unscramble, and you may be our winner tonight. Okay. Little disclaimer before we begin. A little disclaimer before we begin. The information in this presentation is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content, including text, graphics, images, and information contained or in and available through this presentation is for general purposes only. The presenter and Friday Night Live make no representation, assume no responsibility for the accuracy of information contained in or available through this presentation. You are encouraged to confirm any information obtained through this presentation with other sources and review all information regarding any medical condition or treatment with your physician. Never disregard professional advice, medical advice, or delay seeking medical treatment because of something you have heard, read, or viewed in this presentation. The presenter and Friday Night Live do not recommend, endorse, or make no representation about the efficacy, appropriateness, or suitability of any specific tests, products, procedures, treatments, services, opinions, healthcare providers, or other information that may be contained in or available through this presentation. The presenter and Friday Night Live are not responsible nor liable for any advice, course of treatment, diagnosis, or any outcome for anyone who watched, listened to, or participated in this presentation. All right, Dr. Alford, you ready? Okay, let me tell you about Dr. Alford. Dr. Alford is a board-certified pediatrician and internal medical specialist that has practiced medicine for over 35 years. He has received many local, state, and national awards as a practicing physician. Presently, he practices in a rural community of Central Illinois and serves as the medical director of the local hospice company there, as well as medical director for the local prison. He serves as one of the 5 trustees representing 11 counties in Illinois for the Illinois State Medical Society, and as an alternative delegate, he represents Illinois for the American Medical Association as well. Please welcome to Friday Night Live, Dr. Rodney Alford. Hey, Dr. Alford.
Oh, I have to thank you for that introduction. My goodness, that's a lot.
I had to catch my breath. It's a lot of reading.
That disclaimer was also very good, although everything that I give you here is absolutely the truth. So you
I
can
know.
believe every single thing, take it with you. So
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir. It is always exciting when you come on our show. We're happy to have you, and thank you so much. I know you're very, very busy, and so we just really thank you for taking time. I know you've had a hard day. You've been working all day, and now you got to come on Friday Night Live and give us some information about what are we talking about today, Dr. Alford?
Well, we're talking about what's important for this month. This is colorectal cancer detection education month. So I'm going to give a little education on colorectal cancer and early detection, screening. I'm going to keep my comments around screening. We want to talk a lot about the cancer itself, but I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk about something that I think it should be near and dear to all of us. So
Yes.
I'm ready to talk about it, and I'm ready for your guests. Even we might even have a little time at the end for some Q&A, and I definitely would
Okay.
appreciate that if you have that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you take it away. Go ahead and talk to us and tell us all the great information about colorectal cancer, Dr. Alford.
Okay, well, first thing we have to realize that this is important. This is a real important issue, particularly in the African American community, because colorectal cancer is prevalent in our community. Actually, we are 20% more likely to get colorectal cancer and 40% more likely to die from it than any
Wow.
other racial or ethnic group. So we need to know about this. And so I'm going to ask the viewers to actually take a piece of paper and pen. Be ready to write some notes down because I'm going to flash through this very quickly because I want to make sure that I get as much information as possible, but also want to make sure that it's clear so that you understand what I'm talking about. So have an opportunity. You can ask some questions later. So I'm going to blast right through this. African Americans in general typically experience more illness. We have worse outcomes. We die a premature death much more likely when we compare to others, particularly the white population. So it's important that we talk about this issue particularly. Why is this personally important to me? Well, it really is because my mother died from colon cancer. She was a breast cancer survivor, but she died at age 77 of colon cancer, still young and vibrant as any 50-year-old would be. She was retired, but she was still working in her passion. Her passion was a beautician. She continued to do hair even in her basement. We had to move her out of her beauty shop. She moved into her basement. She was still doing hair. She was actually in her retirement was one of the most respected beauticians in the United States. So I'm very proud of what my mother had become. Also, she had 20 grandchildren. She had a vacation home in the Bahamas that she retreated to
Wow.
on a regular basis. She, of course, had a loving family, loving community. Her colleagues loved her. Even her competitors loved her because they knew that they wanted to do what she could do. Even the politicians in Chicago loved her. She was actually helpful in Harold Washington actually being the first African American mayor of Chicago. So
Hmm.
she worked with them as well. So she's done some really great things in her life, and so I would have loved to have shared more years with her. And so for me, this is a personal issue. I have a personal vendetta against colon cancer because of what it did to my family. It took away my mother. So that wise businesswoman encouraged me and all of our family to be entrepreneurs. And I know even to this day, at age 99, she'd be 99 today. She would actually be 100 this year come July 1st. I'm sure she'd be sitting down telling us about how we can make ourselves better just because that's the kind of woman she was. So I do have a personal vendetta against this scourge, this disease. And so, but because of COVID-19, many people have not elected to get these procedures because they're elective procedures and they've been put on hold. Now that things are opening up, we actually you need to take time to schedule your cancer screening regimen. That is your breast cancer detection as well as your colon cancer detection. But we're talking particularly about colon cancer detection because this is the month to talk about it. American Cancer Society has put together some ideas about what's important when we talk about colon cancer. People at average risk of colon cancer starting at age 45, that's when you have your first screening test. Now, it used to be age 50, but we started finding that if we did colonoscopies earlier at age 45, we were finding some tumors that we were missing. And so now we've decided that the American Cancer Society says that now at age 45, we want to do the first screening, and then you want to do a screening every 10 years after if you don't find anything. And so up to age 75, as long as your life expectancy is more than 10 years. So say if the person is 65 years old and their life expectancy isn't quite 10 years, if they're pretty sick and probably not going to live 10 years, then we don't recommend them to have a colonoscopy at that time for screening purposes. But up to age 85, at age 85, we say it probably doesn't make sense to do any more colorectal screening because you would have found anything by that time if you were getting them before. And even if you found something at age 85, the question is, what's the risk versus
Right.
versus benefit of actually doing a colonoscopy on a person that's of that age? So there's two types of tests that can be performed. One type is a stool-based test, and then the other type is the visual test, or where we're actually looking in the structure of the colon itself. So one of the tests, the stool-based test, is called a highly sensitive fecal immunochemical test. Let's just call it the FIT test, the FIT. It's a lot easier to say.
Yes.
The FIT test is a test that we do every year. We encourage it to be done every year. Just collect stool, and we can actually test that for some possibility of colon cancer there. And then there's a highly sensitive guaiac-based fecal occult blood test. We call it the FOBT, FOB test. So that test can be done also every year. And it basically tests for blood in the stool. And it's a very sensitive test to test for blood in the stool. We can do that once a year. Or we can do the multi-targeted stool DNA test. You guys have watched that on TV, the Cologuard. That's the Cologuard test. And actually, that's done every 3 years. So we have all of those different screening tests that we're testing the stool. And then these are the different visual exams of the colon and rectum. One is the colonoscopy. Colonoscopy is very important. It is the gold standard. That's the test we do every 10 years after age 45, every 10 years to look and monitor for any diseases of the colon. And then there's a CT colonography, where you actually do like a virtual colonoscopy. You're not actually doing a colonoscopy with a tube inside. You're actually doing a colonoscopy through CT scan. And you can do that every 5 years. And then there's the flexible sigmoidoscopy, which is, it's like a colonoscopy, only you don't go quite as far. And so you have to do that every 5 years because it's not quite as sensitive as a colonoscopy itself. So you want to talk to your healthcare provider about which of the tests are more likely, which is the best option for you. Don't take my word for what it is because I'm not your physician, but you definitely want to talk to your physician and find out which test would make the most sense for you. And if any of the tests that I mentioned happen to be positive, if it's not the colonoscopy, then you're going to be referred to have a colonoscopy done. And it should be done at that point if any of those other tests happen to be positive. So the question is, when should you get a colonoscopy? Well, if you're at high risk for colon cancer, you should get a colonoscopy. There's a number of things that put you at high risk. So if you have certain types of polyps, if certain types of polyps in the past and they've been removed, then you should have a colonoscopy every 3 years, not every 10. So if you've been found to have a adenomatous polyp, that type of a polyp, then every 3 years afterward, you should have a colonoscopy because you're at higher risk for colon cancer. And so there's also a certain size of the polyp. If it's a larger polyp, you want to check more frequently because that means those polyps are growing faster. If there's a certain number of polyps, you're seeing multiple polyps, then you want to check a little more frequently than every 10 years. So, and if you've had colon or rectal cancer in the past, 1 year after you've had the surgery for it, you want to make sure, you want to do a colonoscopy after that to make sure there's no recurrence and to make sure that it's not still there. So you also, if it's a rectal cancer, you can actually do an MRI scan for that. So if you've had radiation to your abdomen or pelvis for whatever reason, and many times it would have been because a man would have had testicular cancer and had radiation for that reason, or he might have had prostate cancer and given radiation for that reason. If you've had radiation to the abdomen or pelvis at any time, you want to make sure that you're checking with screening colonoscopy at an earlier age, depending on how the person is when they first had that radiation given. So you start 5 years after the first radiation is given, or at age 30. So say you had some type of a cancer at age 25, then 5 years later, you want to make sure you get a colonoscopy done.
Dr. Alford,
Yes.
Dr. Alford. So can I make the appointment myself, or does a doctor have to order those yearly tests?
It depends on the test you're talking about. The Cologuard, you can actually order that test yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good question. I'm glad to
that's why I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that was a good question because I was curious about that.
Very good question. If those other questions come up, I'm very happy to stop and answer those, because I do want to make sure I get all this information out to you, but I do also want to make sure that any specific questions I answer. So yeah, that was a good question. But yes, your primary care physician should encourage you to have the test done, and they can talk to you about which test makes the most sense. But there are some of the tests that you can actually get yourself, like the Cologuard test, that you can do yourself without a physician order. So, but the other tests, typically you will need a physician to order them. Another reason to get a colonoscopy is if you've been diagnosed to have any of the inflammatory bowel diseases, like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. You may have heard of those diseases. So if you've had either one of those, you want to get a colonoscopy every 8 years after you get the diagnosis, and then you have to rescreen every 1 to 3 years, depending on that person's risk factor and also what the findings were when that first colonoscopy is done. So initially 8 years after the diagnosis, and then 1 to 3 years, depending on that person's risk. So if a person has a known or suspected genetic syndrome, and there are a number of genetic syndromes now that come with a higher risk for colon cancer, and many times we have to start screening those people in their teen years, because they may develop colon cancer in their early 20s, and many of them, almost all of them, 100%, will have developed a colon cancer before age 40. So we want to make sure that in those people that have a suspected or a known genetic syndrome that is associated with frequency of colon cancer, you want to make sure you get them screened early and very often. Colonoscopy is going to be done every 1 to 3 years, depending on whatever the genetic syndrome is. And there's a number of them, and I'll mention a couple of them later on. So if you think you're at high risk for colon cancer, talk to your healthcare provider. As I mentioned before, they'll tell you about whether you should get a colonoscopy. They'll tell you which test you should get, or what your family should get. But no matter which test is suggested, most importantly is just to get tested. That's the important thing. So whatever test is available, it's kind of like the coronavirus vaccine. People are asking, which one should I get? Which one? Well, whatever's available. I didn't mean to throw another coronavirus.
That's our reality right now. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's our reality. Yeah, so that's fine.
So get what's available, and that's what's important. So why do we need to check for colon cancer? Well, I mentioned a couple things, but one important thing is it is the third most common cancer. Outside of skin cancer, the third most common cancer. It's been predicted for this year, 2021, we're going to have about 104,000 cases of colon cancer this year. and over 45,000 cases of rectal cancer. That's just in the United States. So about 150,000 people are going to suffer with colorectal cancer this year in 2021. Screening for colon cancer has really caused a drop in the number of cases that we diagnose since the 1980s. So we've caused a drop in the number of cases just because we're screening more. So colon cancer is decreasing in incidence in older people, but it's actually increasing its incidence at a slower rate in younger adults. Since the 1990s, younger people are starting to get more colon cancer. And there's a number of reasons for that. And, we can list, and there's quite a long list, and many of it has to do with our lifestyles and how our lifestyles have changed. Overall, the lifetime risk of developing colorectal cancer is 1 out of 23. One
Wow.
out of 23 men are going to get colon cancer. 1 out of 25 women over your lifetime have a chance of getting colon cancer. So that's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
So, and a lot of people. So it's expected this year to kill over 52,000 people this year in 2021. So it is definitely, there is a huge need to start checking for colon cancer. We don't talk about it enough. Deaths from colon cancer has increased in people under 55 at a rate of 1% per year from 2008 to 2017. Despite the overall lower death rate that we're seeing every year, we're seeing this higher rate in younger people now. So it's very important to start those screenings and start them early at age 45. The death rate, in other words, the number of deaths per 100,000 from colon cancer, is dropping for a number of reasons. One reason is we're doing these early removal of the polyps because we're doing more screening. That could have turned into cancer. And then the cancers are being found earlier. So once we find them earlier, they're easier to treat. So folks aren't dying because of that reason. And then the treatments that we've developed now are actually a lot better than they were over decades ago for obvious reasons. Things are just getting better. We're just getting better at treating. So another reason why we need to start checking for colorectal cancer, we found that regular screening is one of the most powerful tools to prevent colon cancer. It's the thing to do. From the time that first abnormal cell starts to grow into a polyp, it takes about 10 to 15 years to develop into colorectal cancer. So it takes a while. This is fairly slow growing. If screening is done regularly, then most of those polyps are going to be found and removed because it has a chance to turn to cancer. So we got to remove them. But the only way we can remove them is to see that they're there. So we have to start doing more screening. We can find cancers early. They're smaller and, of course, easier to treat if we find them early. So some of the risk factors for colon cancer, and I've mentioned a few of them before, but I just want to kind of summarize some of them again. One, if you had a personal history of colon cancer yourself or certain types of polyps. I mentioned those adenomatous polyps. Even once that polyp is removed, you still have an opportunity, a chance to develop colon cancer in another area of the colon. So just because you've had one removed doesn't mean that your risk is now gone. That was the cancer you were going to have. No, it means that you need to get screened more often. Another risk factor is a family history of colorectal cancer, especially in relatives that are first-degree relatives, that is your parent, a sibling, a child. Those folks, if there's a family history there, you want to make sure that you consider yourself at high risk. I'm at high risk for colon cancer because my mom had it. So I'm making sure just this year I had my every 10-year test. And, a lot of people worry about the test itself. The test itself is really no big deal. It's what you do before the test that's the issue. They want you clean, and they give you things that help to clean you out. And so all through the day and night, you're cleaning. And so it's a very uncomfortable period during that time, but you're hydrating yourself and preparing yourself to have that test done. Again, it's a very uncomfortable situation, but the test itself, most people sleep right through it. They give you medication to kind of help you rest through it. So you really don't even, most times you sleep and you wake up and the next thing you know, it's all done. Yeah, and it's all over. So it's nothing to fear. And I think there's a lot of fear that goes along with having a colonoscopy done. The only fear is that you might have an accident while you're sleeping, while you're being cleaned out. So that's about the worst part of prepping for having this colonoscopy test done. As
Doctor,
I said, go ahead,
Doctor,
please.
we're down to the last 5 minutes
Good.
of our talk. I do have, I think I have two questions. Do you have time to address those?
Well,
And
let me hit the last points because I just have a last points. I want to make sure I make
go
those
ahead.
points. Yes, I
Yeah,
will.
go ahead.
Um,
Okay.
as I mentioned, there's other things that you can do to prevent your or decrease your risk of colon cancer. I want to make sure I get these things in. Smoking is a big deal. That's something you can control. Smoking definitely increases the risk of colon cancer. Being overweight, of course, we can improve that by losing weight. Being physically inactive, we definitely need to get up more. Eating red meat and processed meats, that actually can increase your chances of colon cancer. We want to make sure we cook our meats a little slower. Frying, broiling, and putting meats on the grill actually increase the chances of having colon cancer. Um, Low vitamin D levels, make sure you're taking your vitamin D regularly, especially if you're low. Lack of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, that fiber we talk about. Moderate to heavy alcohol use definitely puts you at high risk. Light to moderate alcohol use gives you some risk, so don't drink it all if you can stop yourself. Being older, of course, the risk goes up as you get older. So the answer isn't don't get older. The answer is just screen more regularly. African Americans, of course, like I said, have a higher risk, and we don't really know why that is. So we just need to be screened more regularly. Having type 2 diabetes is actually a higher risk as well. The night shift work, we're not sure why that is. We think it has to do with melatonin. And then if you've been treated for any other cancers in the past or had radiation therapy, those things. So to summarize very quickly, if you're age 45, make sure you get tested. Ask your healthcare provider which test makes the most sense. Stop smoking or don't start. Lose weight, exercise, preferably outside if possible, so you can get that vitamin D. Reduce your red meat and processed meat. Make sure you cook your meat slower and lower. Take vitamin D if it's low. Eat more fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Stop. I told you about alcohol. Stop it or reduce it. Get tested regularly. Ask your healthcare provider some questions. Write those questions down before you come for your appointment. Bring a pen. Make sure you write down your answers that healthcare provider gives you. Bring a significant other with you. We can do that now, even with COVID. Bring that person to help you translate what the doctor says and help you translate for the doctor what you say. And then if your questions are avoided or not answered properly, you want to make sure, or not answered to your satisfaction, you want to make sure you, again, attempt to get those questions answered. If your primary care provider does not answer those questions, I suggest that you change healthcare providers. I am that strong about it. So with that, I will answer questions. I just wanted to make sure I got those points in at the end. Any other questions that you have for me?
I have like two of them.
Okay, I'll answer them quickly.
What about colon cleansing?
Colon cleansing has nothing to do with colon cancer. It has not been shown to reduce colon cancer at all. It does provide it does have some benefits, some positive health benefits, but colon cancer it does not prevent or treat colon cancer at all.
Okay, and is a diet high in fiber recommended?
I did mention about fiber. Actually, what we used to think was a high fiber diet is not really that. What we're finding is fruits, vegetables, and particularly vegetables with the skin on them, like apples, things like that, roughage, those things, as well as whole grains, wheats, and things like that. They actually help, and they help in a number of ways. They believe that somewhat mechanically as well. What it does is it helps to slough off, those things going down through the chute. Actually help to scrape off some of those abnormal cells so they don't get a chance to develop.
Okay. That's all the questions that I have on here.
Is my time up?
It's up, but if you want to hang out with me a little bit longer, you can. Did you want to add anything else? Or you wanted to give a conclusion before we?
I can conclude by saying I really do appreciate you, Kat, for doing this kind of a program. This is so important, particularly in the African American community. We need this information out there, and I am so happy to have an opportunity to share this information. This is an information that I just got over the last 2 minutes of reviewing Google. These are things that over the years I've learned, and these things are actually available to you now. You can check out the websites, American Cancer Society website. A lot of information I gave can come from there as well. So, I do appreciate you and all you're doing to educate our communities. I really do appreciate giving me this opportunity. I think this is a great forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alford. And this was some really, really good information. So I'm going to go back. I was taking notes as well. So I'm going to go back and look at it again. But it was very, very informative. And you can see some of the comments on it here. The viewers are really enjoying this. Thank you so much. I know that you're really, really busy, and we really appreciate you. So we talked about colorectal cancer, Dr. Alford. At the end of the month, I think you're coming back, and we're gonna be talking about our kidneys. So that's our next one. So as always, here's another comment. Awesome information for our health. Thank you, Dr. Alford. Here's another one. Thank you so much, Dr. Alford. Here's another one. Great information. Thank you, doctor. Look at this. This is good information. Good information. OMG. Yes. So we're getting there. We're getting it out there, Dr. Alford, which is what is very important. So people
Make
can
sure that everyone that got this information, share it. Share this information. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Make sure that people know how important this is. This is a very, very important issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Dr. Alford, you have a great weekend. I know you're about ready to rest. You've been running all day. Here's another one. Excellent information, Dr. Alford. You got to go back and look at this. Thank you. God bless you. Help heal the village, Dr. Alford. Look at this. Thank you, Dr. Alford. Look at this. They're coming in. All right. So get you some rest, and we'll be talking soon. Thank you so much, as always. We love you here at Friday Night Live, Dr. Alford, and thank you so much for your expertise and giving of your time to educate us.
Thank you again.
All right. You take care, Dr. Alford.
All right. Appreciate
Okay.
you.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. I learned so much every time he comes to Friday Night Live. I really hope that you all are enjoying our new segment, Preventative Measures. That's our favorite. Well, we have a couple of doctors, but he's one of our favorites, Dr. Rodney Alford. All right. So let us see who won our show. Give me some music, please. Let's see. All right, here was the trivia. You had to unscramble. This tournament takes place in March. The answer is March Madness. And we do have a winner. And today's prize is compliments of my good friend in Chicago, Donna Coleman. She sent me some scarves, and you all are going to get them. Okay, so let's see who won. Cynthia Banks. Cynthia, congratulations. Cynthia, congratulations. Let me show you what you got. Let me show you, girl. They are pretty. They are so pretty. Donna has a boutique that pops up pretty regularly, and sometimes you can catch her on Facebook Live. She has purses, she has clothes, she has belts, she has shoes, she has jewelry, she She has everything. So anyway, she sent me some beautiful scarves. Here's one. Woo! All right. Wait, I'm not done. Shout out to my girl, Donna Coleman. Yes. Oh, look, Cynthia. Look, Cynthia. Woo! Wait. I'm not done, Cynthia. Wait, girl. Wait. Look. All of this came from Donna Coleman. Look. Woo! Congratulations, Cynthia Banks. What I need you to do, I need you to go to my Friday Night Live Facebook page. There is a way that you can inbox me. I need you to inbox me your mailing address, and I'm going to send these your way. Oh, wait. There's one more, Cynthia. There's one more. Oops, wait. Look. Woo! Yes, so send me your information. I'm going to get that mailed to you. Congratulations, Cynthia, and shout out to Donna Coleman. Yes, thank you so much, Donna. All right, what else do we need to do, Cheryl? We have to do our accolades. So we want to thank our first trumpeter on Friday Night Live. Did you enjoy him?
Yes, he was awesome.
Yes, Ryan Montano. Thank you so much, Ryan. Beautiful spirit. And of course, our doctor, Dr. Rodney Alford, giving us information on colorectal cancer. Next week, OMG, we have a guitarist coming, Carla Leo. She will be in the house. You don't want to miss it. And also, we have a fine artist painter. He paints fine arts. His name is Jonathan Carter. I wonder if we're related. He's going to be here next week as well. OMG, you don't want to miss that. Let's see. Want to give a shout out to my good friend Kevin Moore. That is the music that you hear at the very beginning of the show, usually almost every Friday. Saxophonist Kevin Moore. He's a national recording artist. I've known him since like 2000. And today we played Peace Be Still from his CD entitled Every Breath We Take. And I thought that was befitting. We need some peace. Yeah. All right, Cheryl. So do you want to give some shout outs? All right, let me let Cheryl give some shout outs. Also, I have given away half of the tickets for the concert. I still have some. If you want to go, this is a free concert, but you have to have your tickets. Give me a call. You can check my Friday Night Live Facebook page. There's a commercial on there. Make sure you check it out. I have some amazing artists. Cameron Ross is coming. Dr. Ronald Rembert is coming. Daryl Evan Jones is coming. The guitarist, Happy Guitar, Greg Haynes is coming. And then we have, he is so crazy. He actually has a contract with Norwegian Cruise Line. He's a comedian and he does clean comedy. David Graham is coming. And we have inspirational singer, Anitria Bratcher. They are all going to be in the house and we're going to have us a really good time. Okay, Cheryl. Let me give you.
Don't wait till the last minute to get your ticket.
Don't wait till the last minute. Half of them are already gone. I'm really excited. This is going to be here in like 2 weeks. All right. So Cheryl, give your shot. Let me give Cheryl her intro. She likes her intro. Okay.
All right. First and foremost, let's see who we have here. Congratulations, Miss Cynthia. It's nice to see you here. Hey, Gigi, we can see you here as well. Good to see you. Lady Jackson, glad you came out as well. Yes, Cynthia gets all them scarves. It's okay. Hey, Donna Coleman, those scarves were beautiful. Thank you for stopping.
Is Donna on here?
Yes, she is.
Hey, Donna. Oh,
we got Auntie Ada up in here. Hey, Auntie Ada. Hey, Charles Neal. Glad you came back out. I hope you enjoyed. Carmen Cunningham, good to see you as well. Auntie Karen. Hey, Auntie Karen. Hi. Hey, Auntie T. Good to see you as well. Mrs. Gerald. Hey, Mrs. Gerald. And we got the Charlene, the stamp queen collector. Woo-hoo.
you know what, Charlene? I got my book from Charlene. Look, y'all.
Oh, got that,
Thank Thank you, sister friend. OMG. Yes.
All right, let's do it. Oh, we got Miss Lisa Boykin up in here. Hey, Miss Lisa Boykin.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Tina Wilson. Glad you came back out as well. Good to see you. And let's see, Brother Esau. Good to see you as well. Karan Atkins. Good to see you. Hey, girl. Bonnie Wilson. Hi, hey, Bonnie. Got Karen Burns. Hi, Karen. And then we got Illumination Kingdom 22 came out. Hey. And then we got Jocelyn Allen. Hey, Jocelyn. Glad you came out as well.
There's Kevin. Hey, Kevin. We just gave you a shout out.
Kevin. You're back there somewhere.
Yeah, you know, he does. You know what? If you all have Twitch, you all should check him out. It's on Wednesdays. I never can get in at it when it begins. I think it starts at 5 o'clock, but he plays a lot of really great inspirational music. You all ought to check him out. It's called what is it called? Kevin, what is the name of your show called? I can't even think. What's the name of that show? But it's on Twitch. Kevin, send me the name of your show. Put it in the comments. All right. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Go ahead.
And I got one more. Hey, Portland. Portland Nisi Ward up in here. I'm watching with Miss Ada Fox stuff.
Hey! Are there any men on today besides Kevin? Brother Esau's there. Hey, Brother Esau. Oh, Pastor Neil. True Christian Fellowship. Hey. All right. Is that it? The music vibe. Yes, that's what it is. The music vibe on Twitch. You guys make sure you all check them out. You have to check them out. You know what? After a long day, when I'm able to, I get in there and I just listen and have a really good time. It's really cool. All right. Is that it, Cheryl?
Yes.
All right. So what we'll do is we can end the show with the commercial for those of you that are not familiar with the concert. Is that okay? All right. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And Lord willing, we will see you next week. Same time. You're welcome, Cynthia. Send me your information so I can mail it to you. All right. Okay. Blessings to all. All right, Cheryl. Take us on out. You see it? All right.
Year One Entertainment presents Friday Night Live Inspiration Celebration Gala 2021. Friday, March 19th from 7 to 10 p.m. Join the host of the FNL virtual show, media producer, Kat Potter. Featuring national headliner and comedian, David Brown. And special guest artists, saxophonist, Ross. Greg Happy Guitar Haynes. Ratcher.
Will you lift your hand right now? Hey, I lift my hand, and I'll forever give you glory. No matter what it looks like, I'll give you praise. Oh, for the rest of my day, I'll praise your name.
Saxophonist Ron Rembert Jr. This event is free and open to the public. Located at Gateway Convention Center, 1 Gateway Drive, Collinsville, Illinois, 62234. Vendor opportunities are also available. The deadline to submit applications is March 10th. For more information, call 618-772-7391. That's 618-772-7391. Love donations are graciously accepted and appreciated. Don't miss this evening of musical inspiration. Friday Night Live Inspiration Celebration Gala 2021. Face masks are required and social distancing will be enforced.